Thank you for tuning in to the very first episode of the human race, raising the vibrational frequency of our collective consciousness, one episode at a time. That is one crazy tagline. Let me just go over that real quick. So for those of you that have never heard of the term vibrational frequency, what this means is that this is the vibration that things are made of. So your body, for example, within all the cells and the atoms and the electrons and the protons and neutrons, there is nothing in there except for this energy. This energy is not something that can be seen or touched. Think of it like an electric circuit. So you're made of thousands of these electrical currents running through your body. And everything around you is the same thing. So everything around you that you see and your connection to that, which may seem like empty space, but it's not. There is a field that connects everything to everything else. And this entire thing, this entire universe is made of this vibration. So when we say raising the vibration, that means we are actually tuning up the level of this frequency. So think of it like when you are listening to the radio, or back when I listened to the radio, when you actually had an antenna and you had to tune in and get past the static and really zone in on that channel. So there are different vibrations that you can tune into. There are lower vibrations and there are higher vibrations. And what I aim to do with this podcast is to not only explain in a practical and realistic manner a lot of this stuff, because a lot of it really does sound out there, woo-woo, this is what it's called. But really it's quantum physics. So it's taking this knowledge that I've gathered through my own spiritual awakening that started about 5 years ago. And that's a whole crazy story in itself. And kind of just going through and sharing with you what I went through. Now, I currently have a wellness center in which I have the pleasure of being surrounded in crystals and holistic treatments and energy healers. So along my own journey of healing, I am still learning and still growing and basically just sharing with you what I'm doing. And for those of you that are questioning their existence or have already gone through something like this and are seeking for other people that have experienced the same things, well, here we go. So this is a place for you, and I really hope I capture the true essence of what it is we're trying to figure out. And what are we trying to figure out? I mean, why are we here? Maybe that's a question that we'll have to go over. And just all these different things that have kind of run through our minds beyond the normal 9 to 5. So the topics that we're going to go over include, for example, our energy body, the different chakras, and techniques to clear them so that you can activate your potential and be vibrating to your higher self. All of these things that I am talking about, if you don't understand them, I will explain it in more detail. And so what we're going to do is we're also going to speak to different energy workers and their techniques that allow them to offer this type of healing to their clients. So a practice of energy work that a lot of people may be more familiar with is acupuncture. And acupuncture is energy work that you can physically feel. So I guess that's what makes it a little bit more easier to visualize and to actually understand and accept, because you can feel a needle in your body. What you may not know is that you can actually activate these same acupuncture points without the needle through different therapy, through different aromatherapy treatments, techniques for pranic healing and energy work. So all of these different holistic treatments that we're going to be sharing are really about massaging the energy body and working with this energy body so that it flows and is clear. So let's go ahead and talk about the energy body while we're here. So we've got our physical body, and inside, as I already went over earlier, is you're made up of all these electrical circuits. And these electrical circuits all have different rates that they vibrate to. And they gather in different areas based on their magnetic vibrational frequency. So they magnetically are attracted to one another. Like attracts like. And down the center of your body, along your spine, is one of the main areas that they gather. And this is referred to as the chakras. There's 7 main chakras. And these 7 main chakras affect different physical parts of your body, different mental parts, emotional parts, and spiritual parts. And each energy center, when aligned and cleared, and there's a few different techniques for doing this, through sound, through visuals, through smells, different energy work. When your chakras are cleared from root to crown, this allows you to be inspired. You have spirit is able to come through you. So when you breathe, there is this energy coming through from, visualize a knowledge base, a cloud, an actual cloud of all this information that you now are tapping into because you are clear of blocks. So it's like that channel, you have now aligned it so that you don't hear that static noise. It is a clear connection. A lot of this is also due to your mind and your body healing. So your gut health is a big part of this. Gut health, your gut is connected to your brain. Your brain's connected to your heart. Your heart is connected to everything. So when you start with being physically healthier, eating right, you are what you eat, you carry the emotion of that food. And it really does affect your mental state, your emotional state, and your spiritual passion. So all of this we'll be covering. We're going to go over some physical treatments, some mind techniques, a lot of meditation. I am a huge fan of meditation. That personally saved my life 5 years ago. I had been going through a panic disorder for a little over 3 years. And I had basically gotten to the point where they were starting to just prescribe me pills. And I was in a pain management class one day on a beautiful Saturday. And I was 33 years old, and I'm standing there and I go, what am I doing managing my pain on a Saturday? The words pain management should not even be a term. So chronic pain was not something I was going to accept. So that evening, or maybe the next evening, it was very close, I looked up meditation. And I have never meditated before in my life. It's actually such a different part of me. my previous lifestyle was so very different from what it is now. And it literally was an overnight change. It was like lights on, switched, and I was on a totally different path. And I knew deep in my heart that this was the right path. I don't know how I knew, I just knew. And it was from a 2-hour meditation that I did that I found on YouTube. I put on some headphones, listened to it, and just gazed at the screen. And somewhere between maybe 15 to 20 minutes in, I started feeling light, and I started feeling that not only I was physically lighter, like I weighed less, I felt like I was actually a ball of light, like Dragon Ball Z, like I was turning something on. And I started noticing around me that the things like the television, the dresser, all of them started looking like light. So I recall watching The Matrix, and literally it looked like that when he's walking down the hallway and everything starts looking like the code. I was experiencing this on my very first attempt, and I had no idea what I was going through. So, long story shorter, that started my path, because the next day I knew that my panic disorder was gone. I have not had a panic attack since that evening. And I can freely talk about it without triggering any sort of symptoms. Typically, when you think of something, let's say something stressful, your body, whether you're experiencing the stress now or just thinking about it, your body actually starts going through those same physical things. So that's why we say, you really want to be positive thinking, so that your body is experiencing positive emotions. One of the things I also will be going over is one of my favorite topics is words, and how we speak, and how we really need to watch our words. So one of the segments I will be sharing is called War of the Words. For example, one of my favorites is curiosity did not kill the cat. Okay? When you are, the term is curiosity killed the cat. So curiosity is what drives innovation and seeking and imagination. Everything started from thought. Everything that's ever been conceived that you see all around you started from a thought. And from this thought, someone believed in it enough that they maybe spoke of it. They started talking about it. And then maybe they wrote it down. And then maybe they talked about it even more. And then maybe wrote it down and shared it with other people. And then those people shared it with other people. So you take something that doesn't exist, a thought, speak it. So with your breath and your mouth, you're magically creating something from nothing. And then you are now setting it in stone by writing it. I mean, that alone, that transformation of energy is magical in itself. So we are always creating. And our reality that we see is made up of all the beliefs that is in the back of our minds. The subconscious is what creates 95% of everything that's around us, in us, everything. And the cool thing that I've learned recently is that you can reprogram your subconscious. And prior to this lifestyle, I was actually a software developer. So I took ideas, some were really out there, and put thought into it, wrote them down, discussed it with a team, and then coded it and made it work. And so when I went through that experience multiple times, I started applying that in my own life. And so thinking of something, speaking of it, writing it, making some vision boards, and then actually making it happen, believing it enough, and putting myself in that situation so that that possibility would be even more possible. So everything started by a thought. So one of the things I really encourage is mindful thinking. because when you think of something, it happens. And we also tend to think of a lot of things, negative things, that we don't think affect our existence, but they do. They affect our body. They cause ailments and dis-ease inside our bodies. And they invite experiences when something happens and continues to happen. And you keep going through the same thing and you keep wondering, why does this keep happening to me? Well, because you continue to think about it. If you continue to put yourself in that frame of mind, you are always going to be inside that frame. You've got to pull yourself out somehow. There's a few techniques to do that. And really see yourself as the creator of this program and not just one of the characters. So now that you're listening to this, you are actually, as of this moment, no longer a character in this game. You're now the creator. You're now part of the design. And you're also the audience. You're also still the characters in the whole thing. So everything is consciousness. Everything is a vibration. And the cool part is we have control over that with our thoughts. So I will be sharing techniques and different treatments. Hopefully have some guests here real soon. And want to encourage you guys to share what you think of this podcast, because episode 0, which is this one, is what I think I'm going to bring to the table. And what I'd like is to encourage other people that are in the same vibration as I am to let me know where their thoughts are as well. So I know that there's a lot of solitude and inner work comes with being by yourself. But when you start finding like-minded people and you start finding people that are in sync with you, such as us, if you're listening to this, you are probably in the same vibrational frequency as me. And that's just human, that's just the universal design. So the universe does not work in mysterious ways, not at all. It is a sacred geometry. It is actually very mathematical. And it's something that we can begin learning how to program it. And very much excited for what is to come and my own spiritual growth in all of this amazing journey. This is literally the beginning, episode 0. Super, super excited. And thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. And thank you for sharing. Have a fabulous rest of your day. I will be ending this with a high vibrating note. This is a crown chakra clearing vibration. And when you're listening to singing bowls and sound bowls, what you could do is you could think of something, and whatever that thought is, visualize this sound, this tone, taking it and bringing it out to the universe like it's a direct connect, so that whatever it is that you're thinking is reflected back. So again, thank you for tuning in, and I really look forward to the next time. Have a blessed and fabulous rest of your day.